Welcome to Lightweights. I'm here with Rosemary again.
As usual.
I know. Are you going to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
So, I wanted to get in with one correction from the last show real quick, and that was that we were talking about President Trump disparaging the military, and I referred to him visiting the cemetery in France, and it was actually World War I veterans, the soldiers lost in World War I they were going to go visit, not World War II, which I think was what I was talking about. So other than that, you got anything right off the get-go you want to throw out, Roan?
Well, I saw something funny on Twitter yesterday that Peter Strzok is in the news again. And, he was the FBI guy who was saying disparaging stuff about Trump.
Oh, the texting with Lisa Page, who's kind of decided to crawl out of the shadows too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's been great.
So anyways, there's tape of Lindsey Graham reading these texts during the hearing on Capitol Hill. And so it's his voice saying, Donald Trump is a fucking idiot. And somebody chimed in that they were going to use that for a ringtone.
In his South Carolinian drawl.
Yeah, which I thought was amusing. I don't know if I'd want to hear that every time my phone rang, but
Graham.
But everybody's different strokes for different folks. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't really have a hot take other than it would be nice for California to get a little attention about the wildfires.
Yeah, but we don't deserve it, though.
We don't deserve it. Also, it's 9/11 today, so I just want to mark that that we honor that.
We do honor that, and our kids are at the age where we're just beginning to talk about that with them, and it's a hard thing to talk about. Oof. But they need to know what it is, but we don't want to scare them either. Yep. So it's a delicate topic.
So we got a lot of books out now.
We do. We have Michael Cohen. Oh my God. Books. Yeah. Did you see his interview on Rachel Maddow?
I did not.
It was great. The whole hour was him. I
mean, I'm not a big Michael Cohen, comeback tour fan, rehab tour fan, but tell me about it. So she's good at pulling information out of people.
Oh, yeah. Well, she reads every word of the book first, obviously, before she interviews him about it. And, there's so many.
I want to give her a little credit for that while we're thinking about it, that she does, if she does an author, she reads the book. Not everybody reads the book. So she really wants to dig in. So I want to give her credit for that. So
dig in.
Tell me about it. Yeah. How did it begin? He's out of jail now, right?
I think so. Yeah. He looks like he's in his apartment and he feels like, I don't really care if Donald Trump attacks me after this because I've already lost everything. I can go no lower than I already am. I lost my law license. I've, been separated from my family, so he's just trying to totally come clean about everything. At least that's what it looks like. So, give me a minute to think of something because I wasn't ready on the Michael Cohen. You might have to edit.
Right. Well, also, we've got other books out. The Melania and Me, which was Melania's...
I can talk about Mary Trump's book because I'm reading it right now.
And then we got Mary Trump's book. And then the biggie is Woodward's book, which isn't... It's not out until September 15th. You said you saw it at Target. I think it's pre-sales.
I swear I saw it. Okay. It must be. Yeah, or some fool put it out when they shouldn't have.
Yeah, they're pre-selling. Also, the one other thing I want to talk about, too, a little bit is you watched a really good documentary on social media.
Yeah. On Netflix. Sadly, they're boycotting Netflix right now, which is unfortunate because people really need to watch this documentary.
Who's boycotting Netflix?
Oh, God, that's a whole other thing. Netflix is being boycotted because of this movie they're showing.
Nobody told me.
French. Yeah, it's French, and it's made by some French guy whose name I just glanced at. I don't remember it, but it's called Cuties.
Pepe Le Pew.
And it's about these... It's really not a joking thing.
Oh, really? It's not?
Yeah, it's not a joking thing. It's about these, 11, 12-year-old dance team, and they're doing all these, sexual moves. They're grabbing their genitals, and they're dancing like flipping, Jennifer...
J-Lo?
On crack.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And people are like, that is pedophilia. That is encouraging, Oh,
they're making kiddie porn or something?
That's what people are saying about it. And people are like, I don't need to watch the movie. The trailer was bad enough. And I'm not defending that shit, but I'm wondering if it's being taken out of context. I don't know enough about the movie. But anyway, so people are canceling their Netflix subscriptions in like droves.
Oh, that's
because
good. Well,
they're upset about it. They are free to do that. So anyways,
do what you think is right.
It's unfortunate that they have to have this movie in their library at the same time that we really need people to watch this. The Social Dilemma is what it's called. I also want to say that the American, going back to something troubling, and we're getting a little off topic, but that's kind of what podcasting is the whole JonBenet Ramsey child pageant thing. Well, people talked about that. They're like, why are you so outraged about this movie? I don't hear you saying anything about that. You know, what was the baby show? Like,
the reality show.
Yeah. What about, I mean, I don't know. I didn't
but they dress them up with makeup and prance them around in little outfits.
You know, but they're not grabbing their crotches like these chicks are. I mean, girls, children. I mean, oh my, terrible. So anyway, so that's a big thing that's going on right now.
Are we going to boycott Netflix, or are we just going to not watch?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really decided.
That's a hard one.
It is hard, mainly because if you're a listener out there and you're in the audience, we canceled our cable ages ago. We are full Roku now, so we don't have a lot of a lot of options here. So, I mean, we don't have HBO.
That was kind of a Netflix-based cord-cutting move.
Yeah, it was. So, Netflix, don't let us down. Come on. They still can redeem themselves by getting that movie out of there, which they might, pull it. In fact, just that would be kind of a good marketing campaign at this point. Say, you know what? We're pulling the movie. And then all the controversy can, come on back. Die down.
We listen to our customers.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I know.
So anyway, I'm dying to talk about Mary Trump's book.
I know. So right now, part of this is to buy you time to come up to.
Oh, right. Well, I wasn't
Maddo
thinking
and
about
Cohen. You said you needed time.
Well,
trying to buy you time.
Okay, Michael Cohen he thinks that Donald Trump will start a war to get reelected. He thinks, actually, he did say that he thinks if Donald Trump does not win the election, that he will resign and try to get a pardon from Mike Pence. And they talked about these preemptive pardons, which I didn't know that was a thing. I thought someone had to bring charges against you before you could be pardoned.
I think it's like the presidential NDA. It's not really a thing, but they're trying it. Somebody said,
because they do that with everything.
Yeah, somebody's selling them on the idea, you could do this. I mean, they'll believe anything they want to believe.
Right, that's true. So, he also talked about writing checks to Stormy Daniels, and I was thrown under the bus, and I'm not the one that had the affair, Oh,
Cohen.
Cohen.
Right.
Yeah. And he borrowed that. That was his own money, by the way, that $130,000.
Well,
what the
that was a wink and a nod that he was going to get.
Yeah.
Put it this way. Again, I appreciate the fact that he's telling us information we need to know about, but I don't feel too much guilt, or remorse for Michael Cohen having to pony up the money for that, knowing that he was going to get the money back. I mean, it's a safe bet he wasn't going to pay for it if he didn't know he was going to get the money back, right?
Right. Well, and he also,
What a chivalrous act. Let me pay for your affair, Don. Just hit me back next week.
He confessed to lying to Melania straight out, and he felt bad about that, and telling her that nothing was going on and all of that other stuff.
I believe the lying to Melania part. I don't believe the feel bad part. Michael Cohen, again, we need to hear from him, but he feels bad because he got caught.
All right. Can we get off the topic of that now?
Yeah, totally.
Good. So, you want to talk about Woodward's book next?
Well, no, you want to talk about Mary Trump.
I do. I mean, I'm only about halfway through the book, but it's fascinating to me. She talks about their whole family history. She goes all the way back to her great-grandfather, but she wants to talk about her grandfather, Fred Trump. And
so how is she related again?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay, good.
So her grandfather is Fred Trump, and he and his wife, Mary, had, I think, 5 kids. It went Mary Ann, the oldest daughter, who's the judge, Freddie, who was named after his father. He always went by Freddie, so that's how you differentiated the two. And he was the one who was basically chosen to be the heir apparent to the whole real estate thing.
Oh, okay.
So he was supposed to follow in his father's footsteps, but as much as he tried to measure up, his father never felt like he did measure up. And he was cruel to Freddie. a lot. And then it went, I think, Elizabeth, and then Donnie, and then Robert. And Robert was the one who just recently passed away and had his funeral at the White House, which is like question mark.
Yeah, that was weird.
Exclamation point. Okay,
put me down for not having my memorial service or funeral at the White House.
Yeah, you and most everybody.
Since I have no association
anyway, there
to
were
it
these
at all.
5 kids, and they were basically totally neglected by both of their parents, and they were expected to kind of, be a certain way. And Donnie was this bratty kid. He was a bully. He was encouraged for being a bully. He was never punished for being a bully. He'd take people's toys away, hide them, shit like that. I mean, finally, I guess there's a family lore story where Freddie one day took a bowl of mashed potatoes and put it over Don's head because he just had had enough at the dinner table. And he didn't want to do any real damage, so the mashed potatoes were like the perfect thing to just put it over his head. But anyways, his father got into these real estate deals with government incentive money. So they'd, give you a grant or a loan for $5 million to build like 12 36 unit apartment complexes. So he'd build these complexes, pay the money back to know anything, and then he got rich collecting all this rent. So they went around calling themselves real estate developers, but they didn't really develop any real estate. The last thing that he built was in 1964. And so he was really just a landlord.
Okay. Slumlord.
Yeah, slumlord, because he didn't, he was always cutting corners, doing things cheaply. And, I could go on and on about the bad treatment that Freddie got. He never really measured up. He didn't do well, according to his father. All he wanted to do was be a pilot. He got a job at TWA. He was, pilot.
Oh, that's great.
It was very glamorous back then. It was a glamour thing.
TWA
Pilots were
was
like
super glam.
heroes. So anyway, he only lasted about 4 months, sadly, because his drinking.
Oh,
he got fired.
So he's the guy.
He was in mortal pain all the time because his dad was a fucking dick.
So he's self-medicating.
Yeah. And, he loved flying his little personal plane. He'd put a bunch of friends on it and fly, up the coast or down the coast. And that was his true calling in life. And that's what he loved to do. And his father was disappointed, thought it was trashy and just beneath him.
Oh, that's awful.
He called him a glorified bus driver. And I mean, when pilots walked through the terminal back then, people ran after him for autographs.
But even still, he's doing what he loves, so who gives a shit?
Well, he was supposed to be. So anyways, that ended.
He didn't want to be some robber baron. He wanted to fly planes. When his head hit the pillow at night, he dreamed of flying.
He did. That's all he wanted to
money.
do. That's all he wanted to do. And deep sea fishing was his other thing. So anyway, he lost that job. A lot of stuff happened, but he ended up taking his wife and 2 children, one of which was Mary Trump, the author of the book, and they lived in this apartment that was one of Fred Trump's apartments, and it was not taken care of, and they practically froze to death, and, he was treated like crap. So then Donnie graduates from Penn State, and...
Which I think his sister of the judge got him in, right? Taking his test for him.
Yeah, they pulled some strings.
Or something. Anyway.
So anyways, he graduates and he immediately goes to work for Dad. And he is immediately given all this responsibility and made president of the fucking company. Never mind that Freddie had been working his ass off, doing menial managerial, custodial shit to try to get his father's love. I mean, everyone in that family wanted their father's approval so desperately and never got it. And it wasn't even possible to get it.
Well, I'm sure he teased him with it, to get...
Maybe so. But so anyways, I'm not quite to the point where she starts really psychoanalyzing Donald. But, it's just indicative of the reward for bullying. The reward, getting shit without ever having to do anything. All of that. He had this huge salary and he was put in charge of managing buildings that he didn't have to manage because other people managed them for him. And anyway, it's a fascinating book. But I mean, I think it's kind of an acquired taste because it's not really something that everybody's going to be entertained by. Because
the subject you said wasn't, maybe not for everybody, but you said